Welcome back to Group Ironman Daily. I think now is a good opportunity to do some recording, and I'm going to do one quick Barrows run. This requires Bryophytus staff. You can see on the RuneLite tooltip. So speaking of RuneLite, I use the RuneLite plugin to use this Barrows tab, but before that, check out all my cool Barrows stuff down here. Yeah, so I just realized I had some of this, so I'm going to move my rope skirt over here for this stuff that I use for Barrows. I'm not wearing this helm right now. I use these just sort of for fun. Like, you can basically wear whatever you want to Barrows. It's not that hard. So I use magic dart with this setup. What I should do for this episode is, I'll just put this into this side, and I'll update my stats too. One moment. Okay, perfect. Let's roll. I'm using this just to be lucky. I don't know if it does anything, but I'm just going to go right now. I go this way. Using food that I have. You can use whatever food you want. You don't have to use any of these potions, but I use all of them just for fun. So that's the thing about Barrows is once you get like Iban's Blast or Slayer Staff, then as long as you remember your shovel, it's pretty easy to do most of these bosses. So I'm going to start with D for Darok. I got my prayer set right. I'm going to drink my magic pot. And that's all. I can drink prayer pots if I want. Should turn sound on, eh? But I gotta turn this music down. I think 10 is the right volume, if I recall correctly. Hopefully that's balanced correctly. If not, then please say that it's not balanced correctly in the comments. So far, I've been able to read every single comment, so as long as not much changes by the time this comes out, because this is pre-recorded at this point, though I do have a dream of, excuse me, one day doing Group Ironman Daily live. Anyways, let's continue with this Barrows run. Dude, I'll put in the title that this is a tutorial, and then people are gonna watch this and be like, oh yeah, here's how I do Barrows, when really this is like episode like 220 something. And like episodes coming out every day, but there were 2 gaps, so that's why I sort of think of this as season 3. I forget how many I've done in season 3 so far, probably not many, like less than 10, but I've got my membership back, baby, and I'm wearing a fedora. I'm looking like an absolute goon. The letter T for, do you know what T stands for? It stands for Torag. The defense potion is to drink against Varrock, because Varrock can hit through prayer. And you can also probably do it with Guthans if you want to skip prayer on Guthans if you have like lots of food instead. Like Guthans doesn't hit very hard if I recall correctly. Torag has high defense. You have to be careful not to leave the room too early, otherwise it doesn't count. And sometimes it'll register in RuneLite, but not in game. So everything sucks like that. Listen to that music. What you want to do is not hear that sound, because that means you're slow. But the like arpeggio, or is it an arpeggio? Here's Guthan. G for Guthan. So you might not be able to follow along exactly with this tutorial, because one of the rooms is going to be a tunnel, and that's the one you want to do last. And once you get there, there's a trick that you can do by killing some of the minions that are there, but I'll show you that once I get there. So next up is Carol. So Carol uses ranged, so I switch to melee. For these 2, I do melee. You can do ranged for some of them, I forget how it works. So now we're pot up. Manual prayer down here, like bam bam. Huzzah. Spec, spec, spec. You don't have to do it like this. You don't have to spec. There's lots of ways to do this. I'm really lucky in that the very last mound is the one that has the tunnel. So after I dig here, you'll see this. Hopefully my mic hasn't been muted this whole time. Yeah, okay, good. You'll see this message that will pop up. Hidden tunnel. And you press 1 or click it. And now you just go through the doors and get to the middle. And you can do 2 skeletons and a leech if you want, because, I mean one of these and 2 skeletons to get the great amount of potential, because if you get too much potential then you start getting bolt racks, which is annoying, and so if you get like less than 88 or whatever it is, then you get the best drops because you get more runes and less bolt racks. But it does not, one thing that's important to make clear is that doing this does not affect your chances of getting a Barrows item. The only way to affect that is to do all 6 of these guys, all 6 of the ghosts with these different names, and Aram is the one that uses magic, and Carol is the one that uses ranged, and then the other 4 use melee. And so you can basically use magic for all the melee ones, but then for Carol and Aram, sometimes another solution is better, like a spec weapon. Oh, I go to bottom. Okay. Close call. Okay, now we just open the chest. And the last guy will pop up at some random point when you go through one of these doors or when you open the final chest. Make sure he's defeated before you open the final chest. If you open it too early, like before he finishes his death animation, then it won't count. So it's finicky like that sometimes, as far as I can remember. So you open first and then search, and that's not too bad. No item, of course. So what I do next is I go here, or no, I don't. I go over here. This is a 1-click teleport. Well, sort of like a 1.5-click teleport, where you can do it like at any point in the tick. You know what I mean? Like it's not like, you know how it is. Thanks for watching.